We are now going to move on to our inductees to the Fraserburgh Football Club Hall of Fame 2025. It's my great pleasure to invite forward, if I may, to make the presentations, our club chairman, Michael Murray. Mr. Chairman. I'm not really sure what does, to be honest, but anyways. Ladies and gentlemen, in all seriousness, if ever a club lent itself to a Hall of Fame, I suggest it's Fraserburgh for many of the reasons that have been highlighted thus far. It's a great pleasure to be here this evening. We have 6 inductees, richly deserved. Our first inductee to the Fraserburgh Hall of Fame takes us all the way back to 1932 when he made his debut at the tender age of 18 up at Nairn County. He scored a hat-trick in a 4-1 victory. They went on to play 172 games for the Broch, scoring an incredible 202 goals. He scored 12 hat-tricks on 6 occasions. He scored 4 and on 1 occasion a nap hand of 5. A league winner in 1932-33 and again in 37-38 and in 37-38 winning the Aberdeenshire Cup. The Broch beating the old rivals Peterhead 4-3 in aggregate, and surprise, surprise, he scored all 4 goals across the 2 games. Our first inductee to the Fraserburgh Football Club Hall of Fame in 2025, represented by his granddaughter Jennifer Anderson, is George Bell.
Good evening. I'm honoured to be here tonight to accept this accolade on behalf of my late grandad, Doddy Bell. Back in the day, he must have been a great player and had a knack of getting the ball into the net. Putting in a tremendous record for the Broch. Must have been a bit of a George Best back in the day, on and off the pitch. With me here tonight are my 3 daughters, great-granddaughters of Doddy, and 1 great-great-grandson yet to arrive. Hopefully he will be a football player. My granda followed the football and snooker well into his later years. A keen gardener and grew tomatoes in his greenhouse, a bit like Bryson Bell does out at Menzie. As a young man, Doddy was super fit and used to sprint from the farm at Techmury to the end of the road to catch the bus to the Broch on a Saturday night after seeing the bus passing the waterworks. I was told he never missed the bus once. Thank you.
Jennifer, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, our opening inductee, Fraserburgh FC Hall of Fame 2025 is George Doddy Bell. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Our second inductee this year made his debut for the Broch away back in August 1967 away to the at that time all-conquering Elgin City. He played his last game some 20 years later in September 1987 against Keith at the Belsley. 513 games for the Broch, 36 goals along the way, 7 times a cup winner, 5 Bells Cup, 2 Aberdeenshire Cup, and indeed in the Bells Cup 1976, the winning goal in a 1-0 victory over who else but the blue tune of Peterhead. Represented this evening by his wife Alison and son Craig, inducted to the Fraserburgh Football Club Hall of Fame, Kenny Roach.
I've got about as much business up here collecting a football award as my dad would have been to kind of bow as a dame in a Broch bundle. He's never worn a frock and I've never kicked a football, so it's a bit alien to me. But one thing's for certain, if he still had been alive, I would still be the one up here collecting this award, because he would have been hiding there beside my mum, or worse, in a back bar, getting drunk. As I said, I don't know much about football, but the one thing that my dad did instill in me is community service. You're part of a community, you give back to the community, and my dad loved this too. He wasn't even fair this too. He was a mintler. He was a heathen. But he absolutely loved us too, and he loved the Broch Football Club. He loved everything about it. And wouldn't have been nothing happier for him than to die on that pitch if they're tackling Charlie. I'm not going to say much else other than right now he'd be the proudest man alive. And I can, my mum's really proud, and my sister's going to burst of greeting it in a minute. So thank you very much, Fraserburgh Football Club, for all the memories you gave my dad, and for all the memories you're still giving us. Thank you very much.
Inducted into the Fraserburgh Football Club Hall of Fame, Kenny Roach. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Our next inductee made his first, and I don't mean to bring up Brora again, but he made his debut away back in March 1972 away to Brora in the days when there was no bridges to get there, and from being 4-0 down came back to a 4-4 draw. His first goal came also against Brora later in 1972, and he played through until 1977. 200 games for the Broch, 34 goals, 6 times a trophy winner, 4 Bells Cup and 2 Aberdeenshire Cup. 5 goals for the Broch in those cup final. Went on to be a hugely respected coach under Charlie in the 1980s. And back in the days when microphones had batteries. A well-respected coach under Charlie Duncan in the 1980s, continuing his wonderful service to the Broch, represented this evening by wife Jean and brother Ian, inducted to the Broch Hall of Fame, Brian Nuland. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and congratulations also to Brian Nuland, and congratulations to Brian Topic when he changes the batteries. Thank you. There we go. This should have a little bit of live. That's better. There we go. Ian, thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Jean has asked me to say a few words on behalf of the Nuland family in accepting this award for Brian. Brian would have been both proud and humbled if he'd known he'd been nominated for this award. He didn't like to be singled out for praise or any kind of recognition. He was very much a team player. As many of you here tonight who knew him would say, he was a down-to-earth guy. During his time playing in the Highland League, he did play for a period with, at that time, the Broch's big rivals, dare I say, Peterhead. But I think he was most proud when he signed for the Broch and when he pulled on the black and white shirt of the Broch, his hometown. During his time with the Broch, Brian picked up quite a collection of winners' medals and trophies, along with getting his name on the score sheet, if not setting him up for his fellow teammates like Rexy Hunter. After Brian hung up his boots and gave up the coaching side as well, he still loved going to the Bells League to support the Broch, and would join me and my son Stuart on the terracing below the stand where I'd watched him play many years before. You could see how much he was held in high regard by the guys standing around us who have supported the Broch for many years. If the Broch were not playing very well, some of them would shout, "Brian Nuland, get your boots on." A quick story I'd like to tell you about Brian, which was actually told at his funeral recently. Brian was renowned on nights out when talking football tactics. He would take people's drinks glasses and would represent players on a football pitch, with glasses being switched from one position to another. So you may have started with a vodka and coke in front of you, but by the time you got a glass back, it was probably something totally different. It's Lisa and it's Jean, Lisa and Karen would tell you, being playing or coaching, they didn't see a lot of Brian during the football season. Travelling to away games on a Saturday, training sessions during the week. But it was a sacrifice which they accepted to allow Brian to follow his love of football. Sadly, Brian was diagnosed with dementia in August 2022. Initially, his illness progressed slowly, but from January this year, there was a rapid deterioration in his condition, and he sadly passed away in February, just over 2 months ago. I'm sure, knowing Brian, he'll be looking down tonight and raising a glass to the success the club has had this season. Brian is sadly missed by all his family and everyone who knew him. Again, on behalf of the Nuland's family, a huge thank you to Fraserburgh FC for this award to Brian. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the G&T and to the Nuland's family, your Hall of Fame, it's Brian Nuland. Our next inductee made his debut for the Broch in April 1982, a 2-0 victory up at Bucky Thistle. He went on to play 680 games for the Broch, 14 goals along the way. 7 cups with the Broch, 5 Aberdeenshire Shield, an Aberdeenshire Cup and the much missed qualifying cup. Also in his final season as a player, a Highland League winner, 2001-2002, some 20 years on from his debut. Similarly, contributed further as a coach until 2011 ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the Fraserburgh Football Club Hall of Fame, Jimmy Young!
Right, Michael, you did say you didn't want a long speech, so this will be very, very short. I can tell you that. I'd just like to thank Fraserburgh Football Club for this honour tonight. I'm deeply honoured to receive this, and I would like to thank everybody at the club for this award. There's so many people behind the scenes doing things that you didn't realise. Some of you just can stand up on a Saturday, either play with football, watch football, and there's people going about like ants trying to keep everything tip-top in shape. So I'd just like to thank them very much for this night, and I think it'll be a good season. I'd also like to thank the Broch Supporters Club for arranging all this evening, and I'm sure my father and my grandfather before me, who stood in the terrace in Fraserburgh for years and years, would be very proud of me at this moment. So, thank you very much again.
Ladies and gentlemen, a Broch FC legend, give it up please, inducted to the Fraserburgh Hall of Fame, Jimmy Young! Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Our next inductee made his debut up at Keith at Kyrick Park in late 2006. He's gone on to play 593 games in the black and white, 30 goals thus far, 16 finals, winning 6 Aberdeenshire Cups, 4 Aberdeenshire Shields, and of course the much coveted League Championship medal. Now 5th in the all-time list of appearance makers for the Broch. Please welcome to Fraserburgh's Hall of Fame, Brian Hay!
Years ago, and I prepared in a hand, so I'll keep it short and sweet. A bit like Gail's tolerance to alcohol. Massive honour, I thank you very much to the club for this. Probably unexpected and probably no deserved, but I'll take it anyway. Thank you very much. A couple of folk to thank, probably right at the start. I'll go for parents, mum and dad. Big influence on me growing up, obviously. Kept my boot north east of Scotland, our Scotland, playing football, watching my play football. Still are, looking after me to this day. So I massive thank you to them. Without them, it would have been possible. Probably my brother and I. For those of you who can, or hey, a sibling, all our siblings, that I think that pushes you on for a wee bit more than nae brothers and sisters and that. So obviously, it wouldn't have been my brother kicking shoot with me. Every other day, if I had a pitch, I probably would have been for every day either. So thanks to him as well, I suppose. First appearance for the Broch under Mr. Duncan, so Big thank you to Brucey and Charlie. Simi gave me a wee chance back in the day, a wee scrawny 16-year-old loon, 17-year-old loon. They seen something in me that I probably didn't see myself. I've never looked back since then, so thank you to them. There you go, 16 time. Chris obviously came in after that and done some good things with the Broch, but since Mark and Bucks came in, I think they've took a club to the next level, the team on the pitch, and I think we're probably getting to the heights that the club probably deserves the team to be at. Maybe a bit more consistent with the league stuff, but a lot of that's due to Mark and Bucks and coaching staff, so big thank you to them. A lot of folk in the club that, like we say, go unnoticed, do a lot behind the scenes, but a lot of special thanks to Finley Noble. He's done so much for the club and still does so much, and if I never got any questions or queries or want anything, he's the man and never says no, can't do enough for you, and he's made my time at the Broch even better, so thank you very much, Finley. And probably, lastly, I'll thank Carleen, she's probably my biggest supporter. Probably come here with some set of nights, absolutely stinking mood, and she's got to try and sit and make conversation with me, which isn't easy. So I apologise and thank you very much. Lastly, I'd like to thank my son Finley. He's sitting there. I get him about north east of Scotland, Highland League, wind, rain, shine, summer, winter. He comes to the games with me on the bus. And sometimes when you're in the warm up or playing a game, you catch up and something at the side of the pitch yourself and you think, this is really the right thing to be doing, like, but thankfully he supports me every game, whether I get sit in half or score on goals. He'll always tell me how good I am. I can't just tell him lies, but it's a bit of a selfish thing with the part-time football, and wouldn't for like a Loon and Carleen and my mum and dad, it'd be a lot harder, like, so thanks to them, and well, I'll give you another one more year ago and I'll take it to there, so thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, one of the best Highland League centre-halves in the last 20 years, almost 600 games for the Broch, 5th in the all-time list of appearance makers in the black and white. He's in your Hall of Fame, Brian Hay! Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Our final inductee for 2025 to the Fraserburgh Football Club Hall of Fame made his debut for the Broch back in May 2009. He stepped back into the juniors to learn his trade for a couple of years before returning in 2011. Thus far, he has scored an incredible and a club record 280 goals in 425 games, 18 hat-tricks, including 2 games where he's scored 5 and 2 with 4. 12 finals, winning 5 Aberdeenshire Cups, 4 Aberdeenshire Shield, and also, of course, a Highland League champion. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome into the Fraserburgh FC Hall of Fame, the goal machine, Scott Bowler!
Give me a second. Hazel, I thought you'd be longer on your speech, like. Sav's told my name humble like that. What did I look to for my night, right? Firstly, I'd like to thank getting this award because it's an honour, along with other legends it's got so far. Like Davy Milne said about a month ago, you must feel all new because you're getting a Hall of Fame. I was thinking, Davy, I'm only 33, Ken. But no, it's right enough, I suppose. But no, it's a massive honour to receive this. I'm just a Broch dude and I'm just happy to play for a Broch. And to think I'd get this when I was starting as a baby, I would be very surprised, Ken. But I'm over the moon. I was going to get Aidan Sopel up here to translate for me, but I think I was dropped a glass a minute ago, so I'll leave him here. But no, firstly, I'd like to thank my organiser, my family, to able to come and day. To start with my mum, what's Mark, my personal on my day, Mum, so thank you very much. I only started playing for Lincoln in 2006 or something like that. He bought my first pair of Nike Mercurial Vapors for £140, and this year for the Rangers game she bought me a pair of boots still. I didn't score those, so I've never played with my wallet. But I'll still wear them, but she's still doing that. Thank you for taking me to our World Cup games as I started when I was younger. Along with my Granny Betty Fizzles, and they kind of managed tonight, but I had to nip in and see her to show her my street tonight because she was going on a bit that week to my granda. I'm very, my granda Francie, I'm very surprised he's here tonight because he's got a check in the morning at 10:30 at the Balaclava bar, so. But there was so I always thank to my granda Francie for coming tonight. If I was young and easy, he kind of got me into football, aka shouting at the TV Man United. He's amazing, I speak about football, and he's never managed a lot of Broch games this season, just because my granny knew, but he's stuck his little black book, he keeps his stats and scores, so I've not scored in the last 3 games, granda, so let you know what I do in the morning, okay? For anybody who doesn't get my granda Francie, just go on YouTube and type in American lad that goes into a Balaclava bar and asks for what a low flyer is. Did I get what a low flyer is? There's obviously one person I would love to be here tonight. My granda Larry, can you love to be here tonight? You're very suited and booted, Ken, so it's, I'm chuffed to be looking down on you, so. I'll be on the table, Uncle Jim, Billy, Bull, he's a door of funk by the way. Sal's dad, Nick, Sal's mum Karen, mum's mother Julia, coming on. Thank you very much for coming. Lastly, I'd like to thank my wife, my best pal, Sav. Thank you for the start. Should I start bad, but well, buses are no, we'll miss it you. Nah, thank you for always supporting me. I echo what Heiser said. I come home with that win. I'm sitting in the house this Saturday night for 3 hours. And even looking at you, and it's nothing to you, like just it's either with that win or if we win, for that score, I'll be raging at that. But no, thank you for the game. My timeline through the week is when I get home for work. First thing I want to do is go out on, because it's Baxter, I've said I'm a freak, but thank you for always putting up with all that crap. I will come home, go around in the middle of supper time fun. Rio's gone and landed the rug on nuts again. But thank you for all that years for letting me do that. Even though you said you didn't hood off, I still just do you anyway. But no, thank you. You've been you're my best pal, best wife and magic mum to Rio and Lander. So love you. My first kind of thanks for football would be kind of like my link-up manager, like you and Gall. And I went on to Perry Boys Club, Paul Young and Louis Davidson, and at Natty Potter. So Natty was actually the first person to show me how to get my arse in. So I've got a lot of thank about him, how to get your arse in front of the bar. So. Next I've got a lot of time for this, but I went alongside for a few years. James Strahan was me along a wee us. I was with him for a few years, but when Chris Hunter got the job, James recommended me to him, so to this day I've never, I've always thought about him, thinking about that, so. And also with Chris Hunter, if you ask for someone bride or boomer, I was his prodigal son and I didn't know why. But I've got a lot of thank for Chris when I first came back to the Broch. 2011-12, he gave him first chance at Highland League football and he always stuck at it, even though he's so loud and shouts a lot. I think it's nearly worse now, like, but it's alright. You know, a lot of thank Chris Hunter, and he got us back to winning trophies after a fairly near winning anything, but luckily enough, since I've been at Broch, I've always won something, and first season we haven't won Aberdeenshire Shield, second won the Cup, so and I've got a lot of thank Chris a lot for what now. I went from Martin, but I'll miss it. Now thankfully I got a DS massive speech, even though I forgot my tin of Red Bull, so I think it'll be a raging. I got thanks to manager Mark Cowie. First of all, for him, when he got the job, I was a sulky little brat at 25, wanting to move because Hunter went away, but I felt kind of bad at the time, but I went about the wrong way, and he just came into management end, Ken, so I went away for 3 years to play in a week. I can't remember say it because it's filmed, is it? But no, I went away for 3 years, and obviously 3 years renewed, 3 years later, and when I spoke to Mark and I think it was allowed, but I say it because the club might get fined. Should we get fined? That's what you're Finley. But no, if I'm not standing here today if it wasn't for Mark Cowie, Baxter on board, Finley at the time, because obviously another managers right that I said Nick and they coming back here and stuff like that again. But if I was to stand here, you didn't take my back when I stood here today, win all the trophies for 2018 to now. The first thing Mark actually said to me was, when I was in his office, was what I saying was, how much goes you off with Mikey Stevens? So that was him, that wasn't me, so just a way to think that. But no, I got a lot of thanks for him. He's my biggest thanks, because again, if I'm not standing here, it wasn't because for him, Mark's and nobody else, so thank you very much for that. I'll still continue to drink Red Bull and do it half-sides 100 times a game, so apologies. But no, hopefully we can continue great memories, win trophies. The team the last 10 years been so lucky to always win a trophy every season or second season. A lot of clubs has never got it. So you just got to cherish for the young lads. You've got to make them ace it, so it doesn't always happen like this. So just always make sure, only advice to young lads is just get make sure your stats and that's up to date. Okay. But now thanks to our players I played with, current and past, I can't an absolute nightmare to deal with. You probably didn't understand the hell I'm saying half the time. I'll come into training Monday, Wednesday with a tin of Red Bull and a coffee, and I'll probably a hyper as one thing, but I'm not got to change, and when I change, till the day I stop, so that's it. But now hopefully we continue to win trophies, and hopefully there's no better reason, no better way to a Saturday afternoon playing for the Broch, at Wellesley, winning, scoring, tuning garbage in, there's no better feeling, so hopefully I continue to play, score, because I've only got 20 goals to get to 300, so I'm not counting, but But no, thanks to the fans, supporters club, the board, Michael, Finley, Abdi showed me the club. It's a family club, and you didn't realise, from my experience, that you don't realise what you've got or none of that until you leave for a few years. So it's just, nobody wants to go to Mark and says I want transfer list on that, but just appreciate what you've got at Broch, because it's a big thing here, okay? So thank you very much. Morning, buddy.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's your club record goal scorer, 280 goals and counting. Welcome to the Fraserburgh FC Hall of Fame, Scott Barber.
Ladies and gentlemen, congratulations to all our inductees. You would have seen there was a common thread through all the words that have been spoken is the background to this wonderful football club, the foundation that is set in place by the board, by the supporters, by the management teams and by the players. It's no coincidence that there are so many players out there with 3, 4, 5, 6 and in Willet's case 700 appearances and counting. An enormous honour, I'm sure, for one and all, your inductees to the Fraserburgh FC Hall of Fame in 2025. George Bell, Kenny Rocha, Brian Nuland, Jimmy Young, and Brian Hay, and Scott Barber. Ladies and gentlemen, an enormous thank you to our club chairman Michael Murray, who has presented all these wonderful awards, and I know Michael has a few words he would like to say himself. Chairman.
Thank you very much, everyone, and I think everybody held their speeches until the last 2, as long as we needed. But hey, far am I to tell club legends that we've only half an hour left to drink if you keep speaking like that. But no, a night you've seen 6 caps going out, and would like to present one more. And the reason behind this is we have kept this quiet because he's been with the club since 1979. He's got to be extremely angry when we bring this up. I'm pretty sure he's sleeping at the far side of the room right now, so somebody please waken him up for us. The reason we keep it quiet is we missed the caps and we wanted him to be here. He was a club secretary before Finley. He took it over. Once Finley took over, he was a stalwart in the boardroom for many years. He's the most welcome visitor in every single boardroom in the Highland League. In the short time I have been in this club, he's been one of the most welcoming members. He's always got a kind word to say, and one of the politest people I've certainly come to find. He's given me some great advice all the time. It was a bit late, but it doesn't matter. It was, Michael, the more you do, the more you will get to do. Now I'm the fucking chairman. And I apologise. A couple of glasses of wine, I will change a wee bit from my normal. Now, the only time this man has demanded anything for the directors of this club was in the last game of the season when we all came back to the hut. And we're all drinking, and he came up and he says, Michael, mark out a large Bacardi and be skimpy on the Coca-Cola. So, for Ian Smith, you got to hit a notch up. You are into the Hall of Fame. Now, Ian, I appreciate that you like Bacardi, but we're going to give you a bottle of the Rangers whiskey we got. Now, the last time we auctioned this, we got 450 quid, so that's at least 10 bottles of Bacardi.
Ladies and gentlemen, Fraserburgh FC Hall of Fame, Ian Smith!
Allow me now, if I may, to introduce one final time our chairman, Michael Murray. Mr. Chairman.
Again, I'm bitching about everybody else speaking, but here you go. I am chairman, I can do what I like, so Finley tells me. Now, if we thought Ian was going to be fuming, we've got one finally. I'm going to go as far as saying nobody deserves this more. So we have one final entrant to the Hall of Fame. Now, we have kept this in so secret that one of his best pals in the club only found out today. And those that do ken, one of them says to me the other night, he says, Michael, I appreciate what we were going to do, but you were cold as fuck earlier night. So, Finley Noble, I'm going to say a couple of words, but you are being inducted to our Hall of Fame in 2025. Now, Finley has over 1,000 games as secretary of this club. He joined in 1976 as a supporter, was asked to start tidying up in 1981. Moving through the club, cleaning boots, he became a club secretary in January 2000 and held the dual role for 16 years as chairman and secretary. When Finley stepped down last year, this was big news for everybody, because we all knew he was doing too much. But I'll tell you what, I was delighted when he said to me, Michael, I'm going to bide on a secretarial role. What he did forget to tell me was the number of speeches I would hear today. I had planned, and I honestly mean this, to sit quietly in the background, as Finley wanted today, enjoying the business side of it. And I've been pushed into limelight a wee bit, but my wife, I'll say, I enjoy this bit of it, but no. So Finley, we haven't got a cap for you tonight, but you and Ian will get a cap, and this is because we went to great lengths to keep it secret. But what I have gotten is a wee hip flash to pick your Rangers whiskey you already paid for, so thankfully. And I would like you to come up and get this. Now, we have inscribed this, we are mentioning your 1,000 games and everything you have done to the club. And I'm going to let you into something, a wee bit of a secret. When I took over, I'm going to Finley, did you write in our minutes, the bulletin, did you write to supporters, did you write on it? And he says, well, I could spend 6 or 7 hours trying to do that. Finley had never heard of AI. He goes, how long did it take you to write your first bulletin? I went, well, AI did it in 5 minutes, Finley, I did nothing. So for night, and he slagged me off every time since, fucking new idea for you. So, see you night. We have an engraved here in recognition for Finley Noble for outstanding dedication to Fraserburgh Football Club, celebrating 1,000 games as secretary. Your unwavering commitment has been instrumental in this club's success. Thank you for your exceptional service, and we look forward to the next 1,000 games. And Finley, AI wrote that for me.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to your Hall of Fame, the legend, Finley Noble!
I really thought I'd come here tonight really to say something. For folk that understand, Broch, if Alison just stops listening for a minute, it means the world to me. Second, Alison, obviously. When I started coming to the Broch games in the late 70s, seeing guys walking about the streets, they were my heroes back then. There's World Cups and the TV, and the guys that were playing for the Broch back then, I did a kind of different to Pele or these kind of guys to the guys who were playing for the Broch. That's never changed. Standing inside the park on a Saturday, watching our players playing, they're still my heroes. Even at under 18 games at Wales, I love going to them. It's a pressure-free environment, and I'm watching guys that will be my heroes in a few years' time, probably. So it's easy to be passionate about something if that's the environment you're in. There's nothing better than seeing the local team, my team, where I was born, winning things. I was saying earlier on tonight, I've seen the Broch in 42 cup finals. I didn't believe that myself until I came to the out. Won 2-1, lost 2-1. And every one of that 2-1 wins is the most amazing feeling. Amazing feeling. It's just, we're a club like no other. I'm fortunate enough to get into places and see other clubs, how they behave, how they treat other folk, and nobody's like us. Again, that's biased, because this is our club. But we are well respected through the league because we're a humble club and we do things properly, we treat folk properly, and the folk within the club they're in it for the club. They do the best for the tune. Ibrox this year, what an experience for everybody. And the thing at the end, with the supporters over the corner, and the players and our getting their kids, getting the focus team. If that doesn't sum up our club, nothing does. We lost 5-0, that's incidental. It was such a massive thing to be involved in. And to be close to that, it's just brilliant. So, really, I'm speaking shite now. As I say, I just love doing things for the club. It's just what I like doing. I mean, looking through the history back to day one, like George Bell, coming across that snippets in my searching through the history for my spreadsheet and finding these things. There's folk right back to September 1910 till now have done brilliant things for the club, for the tune, and no one person is bigger than anybody else. It's a massive, massive collective thing, and I'm so proud to be part of it. Okay, so thanks. Cheers.
Finley says that, Finley, they might be your heroes, but you're their hero. This gentleman epitomises what Fraserburgh Football Club is all about. The true champion, he epitomises what the league's about. He's making his way in the higher auctions as well. A legend of our club and a legend of the Highland League. Give it up, please. Fraserburgh Football Club, Hall of Fame. Finley Noble! And Alison, just remember that's for you too. Congratulations to you both. And a big thank you to Michael Murray and anyone else who managed to keep that quiet. Incredible, absolutely incredible. Big hand once again for all our inductees, what a place to be.